Okay? I. Let me get fight back at you. In my opinion, here's my slogan. Bring back
Yo, thanks so much, Stefan.
good
Thanks a lot,
parenting.
brother, man.
I think that most...
What, X?
Okay? The social media...
What do you think gets in the way of good parenting, man? These fucking consumerist imperatives, insufferably unending work hours, stagnant wages to declining wages. You know, when people are working 2 fucking jobs, you know, they're encouraged to live a life of utter division. They drive in their fucking, you know, steel box from their fucking cardboard box to their cubicle and back over and over again, listening to podcasts on how to stay grounded while they rage at everyone around them because people aren't driving exactly at the speed they want to drive, because no one wants to be driving. We'd all be better off with a train and a book, but instead, here we fucking are. We isolate ourselves at work. In our fucking cubicle, we return to our fucking single-family home with our wife that we hardly recognize anymore because we only see them in these fucking sparse windows in which you have no energy, she has no energy, and no joy permeates the ever-growing barrier between the two of you as you drift endlessly into this escapist fiction that you found on Netflix, never really touching on the big questions that brought you together to begin with. So you say, maybe we'll fix it with a fucking kid. You spawn fucking 2 of them. They both grow up underparented because your time is monopolized by corporate interests. So now you just give them a fucking iPad. You have a 6-year-old listening to Aiden Ross that calls your fucking wife a whore. You don't care anymore because you have no energy to care, just as you had no energy to have the kid to begin with. But alas, you go to work again tomorrow because the worst thing that can happen to you is that you're poor. Right? Not even be poor. The worst thing is that you look poor, right? So maybe you take a couple loans out, the interest collects over time, the swelling financial pressure of the loans you can't pay to, you know, make up for the fact that the people around you don't exactly respect you because you refuse to indulge traditional symbols of wealth and excess to show your worthiness to them, you know? So you take on debt that eventually, fucking consumes you, you know? You develop cancer from the stress, you know, only to find out that while caring for you, your wife's cheated on you because she hasn't loved you in years, just as you haven't loved her in turn. And that you too have been truly emotionally, you know, at least there's been some sense of emotional fidelity there. You've definitely looked at your coworker in ways that evoke that. You've definitely talked to her in ways that would be adjacent to that. And so what do you do now, you know? Maybe you look for some kind of respite. Maybe you look for some kind of escape. Maybe you boot up a stream on kick.com and discover the possibility of making back all the money you lost gambling on one day people respecting you for this status that you've curated via these material goods you've put in your house, right? Maybe you can finally make that back and pay for your treatment. And so you log into stake.com and open up a little coin wallet somewhere and maybe just put it all on red. I mean, you could win $5 million. But instead, you lost. That money goes back to Train. Train buys his friend a new fucking Audi. Socialism. Better socialism than Hassan. You die alone, drowning in medical debt. Your kid's fatherless. What a good time that was. Yeah, anyways, people are bad parents because life is unkind. It's hard to make time to be a good parent when all the time and energy you have is monopolized by labor, you know? And when you create a society that's so fundamentally divided and sundered, right? It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do, man? When do adults find time to see people? You know how fucking hard it is? And then the only hobbies you're ever encouraged to engage with are counterproductive or expensive, you know? fucking go out to eat, buy booze, go to a sports game, etc. You know, the bread and circus concept of life has become almost impenetrable, you know, because now that's reserved for high society ultimately. Try going to a fucking basketball game now, man. Holy shit. You know? like how bad is that? How else do you connect with people?
Then you come into Wake's chat on her deathbed just to hear her story repeated to add insult to the heartbreak. Where?
What makes us happy is connecting over shared experience, man, and having a sense of community and belonging. People who value us for who we are, not what we do, you know? Or not what we produce, rather, you know? Like, I think that the best thing, man, is fucking move into a city, get an apartment, try to talk to your neighbors, ride the bus, meet people out in the world, and really try to take a moment to not just get from A to B to A to B to A to B until you get to C, which is fucking death. You know what I mean? It's this obsession with maximizing productivity and efficiency, trying to shave seconds off your fucking Google Maps arrive time that fucking eats you to shit, man. At the end of the day, you don't have to go there, right? The reality is, what do you derive joy from? Is it books? Is it reading? Is it fucking crocheting? Is it trying to find ways to fucking make cool clay pots, you know? Do you like fucking collecting sports facts? What's the one thing that when you think about it, you don't have that voice in the back of your head saying, maybe we skip B and we go right to C, right? What is the one thing keeping you from wanting to terminate being? You know, in that moment, and how do you enjoy it, you know? And I don't mean the thing that's giving you dopamine. I mean the thing that you actually derive some sense of, like, curiosity from, like a wonder, where you're like, oh, this is cool as hell. And if you don't have it, start trying things. Just start trying things, man. Put on as many hats as you can and see what fits. It doesn't mean you have to be in love, but it does. I do think we need some sense of community. Even if it's online, we need someone to talk to, man. Imagine being shame from people. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be productive. Yo, Taz, thank you so much, man. It doesn't have to be productive. It doesn't have to be, lucrative. It just has to stop you from wanting to, not live. You know what I mean? That's really it, man. Try to avoid things that are just intrinsically addictive. Try to explore legitimate interpersonal connection. Talk with people about the things that matter to you, and it doesn't have to be meaningful, right? If fucking Digimon matters to you, talk to people about Digimon. It doesn't have to be about big picture stuff. It just has to be something that you truly are impassioned by. Stop moralizing it. Stop creating hierarchy of whether or not it's valuable. That's the whole fucking issue here, you know? Quit fixating on status and placating to the lowest common denominator, you know? A fucking chorus of praise isn't going to do anything for the fact that that chorus of praise is about something that you don't personally want to be or care to engage with. You know what I mean? Try to stay engaged with the things you love, the things that feel worthwhile, man.
3 cameras.
Oh.